Ever wonder how professional fighters explode into takedowns like missiles? It's not just strength. It's a hidden training method that rewires the body to fire like a loaded spring. It's called Plyometrics. This system has helped elite fighters convert raw strength into lightning-fast, fight-ending power. In this video, discover the exact plyometric blueprint that transforms average athletes into explosive forces inside the cage. No fluff. Just practical drills and a proven plan that anyone can start today, even without prior experience. The difference between average fighters and champions isn't just technique, it's how explosively their muscles fire. Watch a top-level bout, and you'll notice how quickly a champion reacts, counters, or shoots for a takedown. Their movements have snap, because their bodies are wired for explosive output. This power comes from the stretch-shortening cycle, the body's natural spring mechanism. When properly trained, muscles store energy during a rapid stretch and release it in a split-second contraction. Think of it like a compressed spring or a basketball bouncing off the floor. Many fighters train only with heavy lifts, squats, presses, deadlifts, thinking muscle size equals power. But fights happen in milliseconds. Traditional strength training is too slow to fully prepare your nervous system for real-time combat reactions. This is where plyometrics come in. They train fast-twitch muscle fibers to fire quicker and more efficiently. The result? Faster reactions, sharper strikes, and takedowns that land before your opponent can react. Look at fighters like Justin Gaethje and Demetrius Johnson, two explosive athletes known for their dynamic movement and knockout power. Both have incorporated plyometric training into their camps to boost their reaction speed, movement economy, and striking impact. Take Anderson Silva's front kick KO of Belfort. It wasn't just technique, it was timing, elastic energy storage, and rapid neuromuscular coordination in action. Studies show elite fighters can produce up to 40% more power than amateurs with the same muscle mass, thanks to better neuromuscular efficiency, not size. Plyometric training rewires the brain and body to activate more muscle fibers faster and in better sequence. The result is explosive performance exactly when it matters, in the cage. But here's the catch. Jumping into advanced plyometrics too soon is a recipe for injury. Many fighters skip foundational work and copy high-level drills off Instagram, leading to knee pain, tendon strains, or worse. Before you can unleash elite-level explosiveness, you need to build a foundation, joint stability, tendon strength, and safe movement mechanics. In the next section, we'll cover beginner-friendly plyometric drills that safely build explosive power from the ground up. Jumping into advanced plyometric training without a foundation is one of the biggest mistakes fighters make. Mimicking box jumps from highlight reels might look impressive, but without proper mechanics, it's a fast track to injury. Knee pain, ankle sprains, or tendon strains can easily sideline months of progress, and even a single misstep can cost you a fight. True explosive power begins with learning how to land. Before you can create force, your body has to learn how to absorb it. That means training your joints, tendons, and nervous system to control impact and redirect energy safely. This principle applies whether you're a beginner or an experienced fighter trying to take your performance to the next level. One of the most common errors seen in the gym is poor landing technique, stiff legs, inward knee collapse, and heels popping off the ground. This kind of form puts dangerous pressure on your knees and increases the risk of long-term damage. The correct way to land? Feet shoulder-width apart, knees slightly bent, and tracking over the toes, hips pushed back like you're sitting into a chair. You should land quietly. If your feet slap the ground loudly, the impact is traveling into your joints instead of being absorbed properly. To build the base safely, start with a simple plyometric routine twice per week. Begin with squat jumps. In an athletic stance, dip into a shallow squat, then drive through the floor to lift just slightly off the ground. Focus entirely on clean, soft landings. Next, incorporate lateral bounds. Shift your weight to one leg, push off laterally, and land softly on the opposite foot, keeping the jump distance short, no more than 12 to 18 inches, 30 to 45 centimeters. This enhances single leg control, which is vital for dynamic movement in MMA. Finally, add medicine ball chest passes using a 2 to 4 pound, 1 to 2 kilogram ball. Stand about 3 feet, roughly 1 meter, from a wall, push explosively from your chest, then catch with soft hands as the ball returns. This develops upper body force without compromising shoulder health. Keep total volume low, 3 sets of each movement, with 5 to 8 reps per set and full recovery in between. Don't rush. The goal is control, not exhaustion. Monitor your form, record yourself if needed, and stop the set the moment your mechanics slip. Build consistency with these basics for 3 to 4 weeks. Once the fundamentals feel automatic, you'll be ready to transition into movement patterns that directly mimic striking, takedowns, and cage control, where real fight-specific power begins to emerge. Basic plyometrics build athletes. But if you want real fight power, you need to go beyond jumping high. You need movements that mimic what actually happens in the cage. Fights aren't linear. You pivot, rotate, explode at odd angles. Training must match that chaos. Most fighters stick to box jumps and wonder why their punch power hasn't improved. General explosiveness means nothing if it can't transfer to real combat movement. To fix that, integrate fight-specific plyometrics that enhance your striking, takedowns, and defensive reactions. One of the best tools? Rotational medicine ball throws. Stand sideways to a wall, load through the rear leg, and rotate explosively as you throw a 2 to 3 kilogram ball. This mimics a punch's power chain from feet through hips, core to shoulders and arms. The hip rotation is key, generating the torque that drives knockout strikes. Next, incorporate reactive lunges. From a fight stance, step back into a lunge, then drive forward explosively. Keep the movement quick and bounce out instantly. It simulates takedown defense and aggressive counters. For kicking power, use depth jump to single leg bounds with a 45-degree rotation. Step off a low box, land softly, then explode into a diagonal single leg bound. This combines vertical and rotational force, the core of any devastating kick. Don't neglect upper body explosiveness. Use plyometric push-up progressions. Start with hand release push-ups, then progress to push-ups where your hands leave the floor. Advanced fighters can perform explosive med ball push-up throws, catching and pushing in rhythm to build pressing power under fight stress. Lastly, the split stance broad jump directly trains takedown power. From a staggered stance, leap forward as far as possible, emphasizing hip extension. Immediately, follow with a short sprint or sprawl to simulate wrestling entry. These aren't flashy gym moves, they're fight patterns. Each drill trains your nervous system to respond with real, usable power during chaos. Perform them fresh, early in your workout, and stay focused on clean, explosive reps. The difference between good fighters and great ones isn't just effort, it's precision. Champions train with methods that target the nervous system for maximum output. These advanced techniques unlock power that most fighters never tap into. One of the most effective tools is contrast training. This method pairs a heavy strength movement with a light, explosive one, triggering something called post-activation potentiation. It's like charging your nervous system, then releasing that energy in a high-speed burst. For example, perform heavy trap bar deadlifts at 85% of your 1-rep max. Then after 45 seconds, go straight into explosive broad jumps. The heavy lift wakes up your high-threshold motor units, while the jump teaches them to fire fast. This pairing builds power faster than either movement alone. Next, add reactive plyometrics. These drills train you to generate force instantly in unpredictable situations, just like a fight. For instance, perform direction response bounds, where a coach randomly points in different directions and you explode that way. You never know which way you'll go next, just like when your opponent fakes a level change. Training should also reflect your fighting style. Strikers should emphasize rotational throws and single leg power. Step through med ball slams simulate punching while moving at angles. Kicking focused fighters benefit from single leg depth jumps that transition directly into a kick. Grapplers need full body explosiveness, a great combination. Heavy kettlebell swings, followed by a rapid sprawl to shot drill. For upper body drive, use explosive push-ups into med ball catches to simulate clinch and takedown pressure. But don't mistake this for cardio. This is neural training. That means full rest between sets and only working when your output is 100%. Stop the moment power drops even slightly. Even the most effective plyometric program won't deliver results if it's not timed right. That's where even dedicated MMA fitness athletes often misstep. They throw in explosive movements on top of sparring, pad work, strength training, and conditioning, then wonder why they feel gassed, sore, and underpowered within a week. The truth is, plyometric work doesn't just tire out your muscles, it taxes your nervous system. Think of it like draining a battery. Every heavy bag round, every lift, every high-intensity drill pulls energy from the same source. Train with an already depleted system, and you get diminished returns and heightened injury risk. Elite fighters like Alexander Volkanovski don't just train hard, they train smart. Their explosive sessions are short, precise, and always positioned when their nervous systems are at their freshest, typically earlier in the day and early in the week. If you want similar results from your training, the sweet spot is 2 focused sessions per week, ideally on days like Monday and Thursday. These sessions should be kept short, about 15 to 20 minutes, and placed before your technical or strength training, not after. Always maintain at least a 48-hour window between sessions to allow your nervous system to recover and adapt. To keep your body progressing without burning out, use a simple 6-week progression model. In weeks 1 and 2, keep the volume low and focus on form. 2 exercises per session with 3 clean sets each. By weeks 3 and 4, ramp things up to 3 movements per session and slightly increase volume. Then, during weeks 5 and 6, taper back. Focus on 1 or 2 key explosive drills, performed with maximum intensity and longer rest periods. This structure allows you to peak in power while still supporting your other training demands. Between sessions, prioritize recovery with solid sleep, at least 8 hours during peak training periods. Contrast therapy like hot-cold showers and light mobility work or shadow boxing on rest days to keep the body moving without adding fatigue. Of course, none of this means much if you aren't tracking whether it's working. Without data, you're just guessing. To measure real gains, use 3 core tests. The standing broad jump gives you a clear picture of your horizontal power, key for punching explosiveness and forward pressure. Simply jump from a standing position and measure from your heels to the takeoff line. Next, assess your rotational power with the med ball throw. Stand sideways to a wall, rotate, and throw as explosively as you can, marking the landing point. This test reflects the transfer power behind your hooks and kicks. Finally, gauge your reactive strength using the depth jump. Step off a 30-centimeter box, land, and immediately jump as high as possible. This reveals how fast you can absorb force and convert it into vertical lift, vital for quick movements, counters, and footwork recovery. Test yourself every 4 to 6 weeks. Daily changes in energy, soreness, or focus can blur the picture, so let time reveal your real progress. A consistent training plan usually delivers 3 to 5% improvements each month. Keep a spreadsheet or simple log to track your numbers, and use video to analyze mechanics. You'll want to see not just further distances or higher jumps, but also smoother landings, stronger hip drive, and more fluid execution. Let your results shape your training. If your broad jump is improving but your med ball throws aren't, shift your focus toward rotational work. This keeps your development balanced and sport-specific. Most importantly, track how this explosive work shows up in your training. Are your punches snapping faster? Are your pivots tighter? Do your shots off the line feel more responsive? These are the real-world signs that your nervous system is adapting. The real win comes when you feel more dynamic during your training sessions. More power, more speed, and more control. Now that you know how to implement and track everything properly, you're ready to move forward with a day 1 action plan that turns raw effort into elite-level explosive fitness. The athletes who rise above the rest in combat sports aren't just more technical, they're more explosive. That explosive edge turns ordinary strikes into knockouts and simple movements into unstoppable momentum. It's the difference between staying average and standing out. Building that kind of power starts with mastering the basics. Focus first on safe landings and foundational plyo drills. Once your mechanics are rock solid, progress to dynamic, fight-specific movements that mirror the way real power shows up in the ring or cage. Whether you're throwing punches, slipping shots, or driving through an opponent, every inch of explosiveness you develop gives you the edge. When programmed and timed right, plyometric training can completely transform your speed, sharpness, and responsiveness in just 6 to 10 weeks. It's not about training harder, it's about training smarter. Start today, stick to the process, and you'll feel the difference every time you move. If this video helps sharpen your understanding of plyometric training for fighters, hit like, tap subscribe, and drop a comment sharing how you're using these drills in your routine. Let's build a community of more explosive athletes.